Good evening. This is Jonathan Cabrera discussing my programming challenges for Unit 5, specifically Chapter 17, number 3 exercise and number 4 exercise for for the Unit 5. The two programs that we had to build were unpaid order sum and unpaid order lookup. I want to give thanks to Jonathan Hester for providing in the class question board the Derby file to download. So I really really needed that jar file. So it helped clear things up. And also thank you, Mr. Sebastian, for creating the code to furthermore create the coffee database. So going back into NetBeans, what I originally started out with doing is I created a project. I didn't build a main class. So I just built a project as instructed. I went to libraries and I added the Derby jar file to make sure that was included to help build the database. Then using the professor's uh, code that he provided through announcements, I built a class for CoffeeDB in the project. So going back to the main, here's the exact copy and paste from the announcement. So after doing that, I created the unpaid order sum class in my projects right below it. And within that, I created the main class and associated put the import for the only differences from previous program exercises in this one is adding the SQL import to be able to recognize SQL commands. You'll see that I'm calling on the database, the CoffeeDB database, to analyze that and then find the unpaid order amount. Below, I have my connections to that database URL above, and then I pushed a command to select the cost from the unpaid order table, and then I'm asking to display it below if there is amount and with the amount associated after it. Closing this and then closing the statements and the connection to the database, and then a catch statement, pretty much looking for any errors associated with it. So coming through here, if I Shift N, Fn, F6, it'll run it. And then for this one, you'll see that the total cost was 0.0. If I go back and I go into the database provided by the professor and I run that, you'll see that the tables will actually get created and they'll drop any duplicated tables in here. So you'll see that the unpaid order, customer coffee, and customer table have been created. So that is my exercise 3 code. Now going into exercise 4 programming challenge. I set up the same thing. So I built an unpaid order lookup project. I didn't associate any classes with it previously. I went to libraries, did the same thing, add jar folder, added the Derby into it. Then I created a class. We create CoffeeDB, which is again the same one from the announcements. So I use that to help create all the tables between unpaid order tables, etc. And then that, obviously had the tables built with the rows and columns. And then it drops any specific repeat tables. So after doing that and then running it and then getting these same tables created, dropping any extra tables, I went in back to projects, went back into unpaid order lookup, right clicked, new, created a new Java class. In that new Java class, I created the unpaid order lookup. So same thing, imported various things, lists, the SQL, which played a big player again, to make sure that I was reading my statements. You'll also see that inside the class that calling for the coffee database URL to be connected to. And then coming down, you'll see that I started building a JList right here. The JList was tied to any unpaid orders. And then I would return those unpaid orders. inside a Java pop-up window. Added a catch on the bottom just in case there was an error creating it. Then doubled was dropping tables, and I added the coffee tables from the previous code just in case because I was running into some issues. Initially, I also had some issues identifying a main, so I added a main statement in there with the unpaid order lookup. So if I go into this one and I run it, I get the same as I said before. I'm going to get the same creating tables, dropping extra tables. Coming into unpaid order lookup, I go in Shift FN F6. I'm going to go and it's double checking the existing tables, and then it's going to create a Java pop-up window, which then is going to have coffee database state any of the unpaid order with the lookups of the companies. So Main Street Grocery and the coffee place was under the unpaid orders. Thanks for taking the time to go and review my unpaid order sum and unpaid order lookup programming exercises. I hope you have a good one. And